So this video is going to talk about the quotient rule. Now the quotient rule is used for determining the derivative of a function that is divided by another function. These two functions are going to be called f of x and g of x. F of x is going to represent the function in the numerator, while g of x will represent the function that is in the denominator. If both f of x and g of x are differentiable, then the function f of x divided by g of x, which will be your original function, is also differentiable. So now the equation for the quotient rule is the derivative of your original equals the derivative of f of x times g of x minus the derivative of g of x times f of x all over g of x squared. In other words, it is the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. So now that we know this equation, let's try an example. If we had y equals 1 over x to the x cubed plus 1, the best way to start is to first determine what your f of x and g of x is. So your f of x is going to be 1, and your g of x is going to be x cubed plus 1. Now the next step you need to do is find the derivative of f of x and the derivative of g of x. So the derivative of 1 is just 0, and the derivative of x cubed plus 1 is 3x squared. So now you take these with all this 4 pieces of information, you can now plug these into the formula. So you would get y prime equals 0, because that is f prime of x, times x cubed plus 1, as that is g of x, minus g prime of x, which is 3x squared, times 1, which is f of x, all over g of x squared. So now if you take this, you can simplify this because there is a multiplying by 0 and a multiplying by 1. So if you simplify this, you would turn out with y prime equals negative 3x squared over x cubed plus 1. Now that we have this basic equation down, let's try one that is a little bit more advanced. So if we had the equation y equals e to the x over sine x, this one we could also use the quotient rule to find the derivative of. So now that we have this basic one, let's try a more advanced one. If we had y equals e to the x over sine x, both of which are differentiable, we can find the derivative of this equation. So if we were to write out our givens, f of x would equal e to the x, g to the x would equal sine x, so the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x, and the derivative of sine x is cos x, therefore giving us our f prime and g primes of x. So now if we take these, we can plug them into the equation. In doing this, we would get f prime of x, which is e to the x, times g of x, sine x, minus g prime of x, which is cos x, times f of x, sine x, all over g of x squared. That is all that you need to know for the equation of a function over a function, finding the derivative.